Hey guys, XARYU here, and today I am playing some of my BOOMKIN Druid. I don't play much of my Druid, but today we are. Beanslayer yesterday was like, hey Druid, hey XARYU, do you want to play some of your Druid? And I was like, oh my goodness, sure. Haven't played this character in, I don't think I've played it at all this season. Maybe once. Maybe I played it once with Shifter playing LA BOOMKIN. But this is pretty much like my first queue session of the season, first real queue session of the season, and I'm about 890 item level, guys. 890 item level. I only have 2 relic slots. I don't have a perfect idea of what I'm doing because I haven't played this character in a very, very long time. But we are doing our best here. So I am being trained down. I do go bear form. We are fighting a marksmanship hunter, an in-hand shaman, and a mistweaver monk. I can be line of sighting this marksmanship hunter if I want to, if I'm taking just too much damage. But right away, we are fighting away of the crane monk. He does pop away the crane, throw that full cyclone onto him. We are targeting the marksmanship hunter. He does use Roar of Sacrifice onto himself and pumps Feign Death as well. So he's taking tons of damage. Throw out a half cyclone now onto the mistweaver. Do get sheared on my next cyclone attempt, but I do throw that full root beam, and he does dwarf racial to get out of it. So this monk actually does have a lot of outs, right? He does have that dwarf racial for root beam. He does have way the crane for when root beam hits as well. So we kind of have to rotate through both of those. Plus, he has his normal trinket as well. So the shaman and the hunter, though, are connecting onto me, getting a ton of damage off onto me. So I need to go bear form and probably pop some of my frenzied rejuves. There we go. We pop 1 or 2. The pain suppression does come out, so I come out of bear form, throw out that cyclone onto the hunter. And the thing that's fun about Druid, guys, is that I can cyclone the healer, but when the healer, is immune to cyclone, or he's DR to cyclone, or he's line of sighting, I can cyclone the guy that we're actually going on, in this case the hunter, and keep him nice low HP, because you can't heal the guy when he's in a cyclone, right? So you either cyclone the healer or cyclone the guy you're on to keep him nice and low. And then you can also go for cyclones on the third target as well. Go for it there. Do get sheared. The shaman's taking a little bit more damage as well. Now the leg sweep coming out onto the mistweaver, and we just have a ton of CC with our composition, right? We have paralyze, we have leg sweep, we have root beam, we have cyclones, we have that kick, we have Fist of Fury if they're stacked. We have just so much CC. The monk does pop away the crane for the end of that leg sweep, though, going for the cyclone onto him afterwards. Looks like I keep getting stopped on my cyclone attempts. Going for that full moon, do get stopped on the full moon as well, but I do get that full cyclone out on the mistweaver monk. He does trinket that cyclone, throwing him into another cyclone. The hunter has touch of death on him. He's getting super low HP, and it looks like he is gonna go down. We'll see here in a second. He does go down. So nice game there. We're just rotating our CC onto the monk. Once we're rotating through a lot of our CC, we are, kind of playing very defensive and waiting for their go, going bear form, popping skin, popping frenzied rejuve, popping pain sup, just surviving, living until our next go. And then we go again with the next root beam, with the next cyclone, with the next paralyze, with the next leg sweep, getting some more damage out onto that hunter with that next CC chain onto the mistweaver, and they pretty much just went down in 2 goes, 2 or 3 goes there. So not a bad match. We could have probably won, or they could have made us not win as fast if they used their defensive cooldowns a little bit slower, right? I think they might have overlapped a little bit, but that's okay. Here's the damage breakdown. I'm still coming on top of damage on the Boomkin. Boomkins do so much damage, even when I am the one being trained. Next game, guys, we have Ruins of Lordaeron, in-hand shaman, a mistweaver monk, and an arms warrior. Similar strategy here, guys. Very, very similar strategy. Once again, I'm very not tanky in my 890 item level, but dude, druids are just so tanky overall that if I am in trouble, I can just sit bear form, spread out those moonfires, and kind of just wait until I am safe to come out. Now we get that paralyzed into the full root beam, and I don't pop incarn here actually, because right away the mistweaver monk pops way of the crane, and I don't want to just incarn straight into the way of the crane, but I do manage to land a cyclone onto the mistweaver monk. Once again, though, not popping incarn, the monk trinkets the cyclone. So guys, this, like, no shots fired to the other team at all, but just to let you guys know, the monk pop away the crane and trinket and the shaman walled. I didn't even incarn, right? So I have incarn for next go, and they're not going to have any of that. So What this team kind of needs to focus on is their defensive cooldown rotations. They kind of just need to pop maybe just Weigh the Crane in the opener, or just Trinket, or just Wall, and they would have been fine. And then slowly dampen and rotate through their cooldowns, and eventually, they could probably wear us down. But if they are popping that many defensives every time we do a go, they're not going to have much at the end. So we do a Monk go here, and I don't mind it because there's 13 seconds left on Weigh the Crane. I'm tracking it here on my Omni bar. There's 1 minute and 34 seconds left of his Trinket, so he has no Trinket, no way. I guess my big problem, and I do have Incarn as well. I guess my big problem with this go is that we don't have CC on the Warrior, and we don't have CC on the Shaman. It's not really set up perfectly clean. If we did, I could maybe get a full moon off or something like that. But we do have that Touch of Death, the Paralyzed into the Touch of Death, Fists of Fury. Incarnation does come out as well. And we do get that double fear on DPS. The Shaman does Trinket and, kind of stop me. The Warrior does Zerk out of the fear and Stormbolt me. So we kind of wasted that go there just a little bit. We did get the Shaman Trinket, though. So it's not the worst go in the world, but it was my Incarnation. I think we might have been able to just win the game right there if we went onto Shaman. Now the Paralyze comes out onto the Mistweaver, following that CC up with a Cyclone. Shaman now 50%, no Trinket, no Wall. The full Root Beam does come out, but the Mistweaver does get out of that Root Beam with the Way of the Crane cooldown. So once again, guys, he kind of always has something to cycle through on those Root Beams. Still worth doing them because sometimes you'll catch him off guard, but a lot of the times he's going to get out of that Root Beam. Now I'm going Cat form. The Shaman, guys, I don't know if you just saw it, but he has that lightning ability where if you stand too close to it, it's going to do a ton of damage. You have to break the chain by blink. This ability right here. You have to break the chain by blinking away. I did just use Displacer Beast, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get enough distance. There it is. I kited away to get enough distance from the Shaman to actually break that chain. But if you guys are ever being trained by an enhanced Shaman and that lightning is being tethered onto you, make sure to just run it away so it breaks the chain, or else he's going to do so much damage. Now the full fear coming on the Mistweaver, he's getting so low. It does pop that Wall and Cocoon and Rally, and he does actually get saved there. But once again, guys, we're working through more cooldowns. Now the Shaman has no more Wall, there's no more Cocoon, there's no more Rally, so we're going to have some more, more opportunities here in this next go. We go with that Paralyzed into the half Cyclone. Didn't realize it was still half from that fear, so that was actually a mess up on my part, getting a ton of damage though out onto the Shaman here. Do go for that Root Beam, but once again, the Way the Crane comes out from the Mistweaver. The fear does come out, but it was quarter DR, so we keep messing up our fear and Cyclone DRs. Guys, if you want to play this competition, I would not recommend playing with a priest. We were playing with a priest just because we had a friend that was playing a priest, but I would recommend playing with the Holy Paladin. You could try it out with maybe a Holy Priest or a Resto Shaman as well. But with a Disc Priest, you kind of just overlap that fear DR with the Cyclone DR, so it's not the best synergy overall. We get the Paralyzed on the Mistweaver. Going for the Cyclone, do unfortunately get stopped. Going for another Cyclone, get stopped again with that Wind Shear. We do get the fear onto the Mistweaver Monk after that. The fear does get Trinketed though, so we are slowly working through the cooldowns. They have some more left though. I have Root Beam available once again, but the Mistweaver does have Way the Crane to counter that. We could try to bait it out with something like a stun, and then if he does Way the Crane into the stun, then we can Root Beam. So there it is. We do get that triple leg sweep off. Beautiful leg sweep by BSX, Beanslayer X, and the Way the Crane does come out. So now, guys, next Root Beam, he will not have Way the Crane for it. We can get a nice long CC chain onto the Mistweaver with maybe a Paralyze, a Cyclone, something like that, and then go for the setup for the win. After that, we get the Trinket Wall from the Enhancement Shaman, and that's probably their last big cooldown there. The full fear does come out. I call for the fears, guys, win. I cannot get the Cyclones, right? So Paralyze into Cyclone, get stopped, fear instead, right? Something like that. It's very similar to RMP, where you go for the kidney into the sheep, and if you can't get the sheep, then you go for the fear. Something like that, but kind of just cloning the Shaman, keeping them nice and prime for this next go. We have the Paralyze coming out. Don't quite have the Root Beam yet, but get the full Cyclone out onto the Mistweaver, and the Shaman looks like he's going to go down, and he does go down. So nice game there. Bear form every time they went on me. Break the tether every time the Enhancement Shaman did it. Going for these nice long CC chains on the Mistweaver, slowly running them out of cooldowns. I think for the enemy team, if they would have slowly went through their defensive cooldowns without using like 2 or 3 defensive cooldowns each go, and then kind of dampened us, they maybe could have won that, but overall it's a difficult matchup for them. Guys, if you enjoyed this Boomkin gameplay, changing it up a little bit, make sure to give it a thumbs up, guys. Thumbs the video down if you did not like it, and talk to me in the comments about what you guys want to see for next time. I've been playing some Ellie Shaman, guys, some Boomkin, some of my Mage, some of my Priest, some of my Rogue, Shadow Priest, Disc Priest, Holy Priest, tons of different classes, compositions. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys want to see. I know there's a couple people in the comments saying they want to see some RMP from either the Rogue, the Mage, or the Priest point of view, so I'll be working on getting some footage of that. But I hope you guys have a nice day. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.